Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? This is an ASMR video, soft-spoken mostly, with a little bit of whispering every now and again. And we're going to be looking at the football results for all of the recent matches qualifying for the World Cup. We'll start off with the European qualifiers, but stick around, we will also look at South America, Africa and North America, Asia, that's Africa. Asia didn't have any qualifiers in this window, they are starting next window. We will be discussing some of the crazy results, performances and qualifiers for the next World Cup and reacting to them. So stick around, we'll be talking about Serbia, England, we'll be talking about Kazakhstan, Wales, Canada, Wales, and we'll also have a little look at Israel, Italy. If you haven't seen the scoreline of that one yet. We'll also have a little look at Nigeria, find out how they are doing, as well as the South American final round of matches before one team goes into an intercontinental playoff. Is that side going to be Colombia or is it going to be Bolivia? Let's find out. Stick around to find out that particular one. We'll start with Europe, as I said. So we have some points on the board now. So Group A, we have Slovakia, surprise group toppers because of that awful Germany opener and for half of the match against Northern Ireland. We'll take a look at the results. But this is the table for the moment. So Germany in third place after 2 matches. And Luxembourg bottom. Group B, Switzerland's top. So another very surprising, so many surprising results in this window. Usually you get the crazy results in the June window, but no. Kosovo are second, Sweden are in third and Slovenia are bottom. Then we have Group C, Denmark are top, Scotland drawing with them but just one behind on goal difference. Greece surprisingly are in third and Belarus in last place. Group D, France, then Iceland, Ukraine drawing with Azerbaijan at the bottom. We'll take a look at their disappointing window in just a moment. Group E, massive game between Spain and Turkey. We will take a look at the very, very shocking result, nothing like I predicted. So Spain top, Georgia second, Turkey in third and Bulgaria bottom. Group F, again, some really surprising results. Portugal top, Armenia in second, Hungary in third and Ireland down in bottom. That is really upsetting. The window's gone terribly badly for the Irish, I'm afraid to say. A bit gutted for them, but we were there. We've been there with Armenia as well, so Wales know what you're going through, trust me. They are such a bogey team for us particularly. We'll talk about that result later. Then we have in the larger groups, Netherlands after 4 matches on top, Poland keeping the pace with them now, Finland in third, Lithuania, Malta. Everyone has points in that group. Group H, Bosnia still top, but Austria now with the same amount of points, having a game in hand. So they would be hoping to win that and go top. Romania in third and starting to lose pace on the top 2, which I'm very shocked at. I thought they would at least be going for second place, but that's looking harder and harder. Group I is crazy. We'll take a look at the individual results, but Norway looking very impressive. Italy not so much, and Moldova at the bottom. Then we have North Macedonia as top of Group J so far. A game in hand though, Belgium in second place, unbeaten. Wales in third, then Kazakhstan, then Liechtenstein. England romping away in their group as we expected. Albania second, Serbia now in third. England did Albania a massive favour the other day. We'll take a look at that in greater detail. Probably the best English result and performance in some time, and definitely the best of Thomas Tuchel's short reign thus far. And then in Group L, Croatia top, Czechia second, but on goal difference. Croatia's goal difference is massive, however, so it's looking good for them. Czechia keeping pace, Montenegro falling off the pace in this particular window after a decent start. Okay, so those are the highlights then. Let's take a look at the actual results, and we'll have a little chat about them. Some of them, like I said, very surprising, others not so much. The first match was Wales against Kazakhstan. And as a Welshman, we are renowned for slipping up when we go away to particularly long distances, but particularly away to Eastern Europe. Eastern European teams in European competitions, European qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers. We have a knack of getting thumped. So this was always going to be a banana skin for us, and one that we actually didn't look good at all, but managed to get through with a win. So yeah, we managed to get a goal from Kiefer Moore. They hit the bar twice, once from a free kick, the last kick of the game. I was absolutely sure it was going in. It looked like a very harsh free kick on Ben Cabango, to be honest. And I thought, here we go, yeah, we're going to get beaten right at the end. We were overrun in midfield, we didn't have enough midfielders. I think Bellamy was expecting them to sit back and counter-attack, which they did, but because it's a very difficult, whenever I play video games, I find those teams extremely difficult to break down, because you have to have more people attacking, obviously, because they're sat in a low block. And so you push your full-backs up and you have all your midfielders forward. And we play quite a high line anyway, and we're on the halfway line with our defenders. And then, of course, they counter-attack, but actually they're very good at counter-attacking. And because we had so few proper midfielders, we were playing Harry Wilson in midfield and Liam Cullen, who's a striker for Swansea, or a shadow striker, or deep-lying playmaker striker at best in central midfield. So yeah, we were completely overrun, particularly on the flank. So Nico Williams, who had like 2 or 3, not one, but 2 or 3 people running at him at a time, and he's not even the best defensive fullback we've got. He's far, far better going forward. So they were getting the crosses in. We're quite a short nation, apart from our 2 centre-backs. Rodon was missing, Ampadu is missing. And we played a new youngster from Cardiff who's having a cracking season. Started him rather than Chris Mepham. Mepham played Ben Davis and Lawler. That's right, we didn't play Cabango. And Lawler had an absolutely stunning match, like so good. Darlow saved us a couple of times, man of the match. Johnson, again, another game in which he was far and too anonymous. He was playing out wide right. But as I said, Cullum is in midfield. Sheehan was sitting back, and Wilson, and they were just running at us through the middle. And then because there's no one supporting Sorba, who's recently, along with Wilson, been our best player by far. His goal contributions are fantastic for us. Before this window, He had the most assists of any player in any World Cup group in Europe, so he's doing brilliantly for us. And yeah, but as I said, Nico Williams, who actually played on the right and Thomas played on the left, this is complete nonsense. Were just completely overrun because they were trying to get forward and then they were having two people run at them. No one in the middle was coming out to help double up and support them. They were also far too forward, so we were totally outnumbered on the counter-attack. And we didn't really deal with that, like, ever at any point. So, yeah, I think we got away with that one. That would have been an absolute loss under any other manager, but somehow we managed to get through it. Then Turkey narrowly beat Georgia by 3-2, even with a red card. They were winning 3-1. Then we had Malta with a surprise draw. I always say Lithuania at home are a dangerous opposition, but in this case they drew. Spain made it look easy against Bulgaria 3-0. Belgium making it look very easy against Liechtenstein 6-0. Northern Ireland then beating Luxembourg, which is actually pretty impressive to win away there. Poland managed to get a draw with the Netherlands. I did say which Poland's going to turn up, and the good Poland turned up. Then Slovakia beating Germany at home. That is a real shock in that group. Cat amongst the pigeons. Very difficult in a group of 4, which you've not seen before, certainly not for very many years, to recover from something like that. So I'm thinking Denmark definitely have the upper hand. If they were to draw their games with Germany, I think Germany have to beat Denmark in order to finish top now. Excellent opening result for Scotland, getting a 0-0 draw against Denmark. Really works in their favour in qualifying. Then Croatia beat Faroe Islands just 1-0, but 1-0 is enough. Greece hammering Belarus 5-1, Iceland hammering Azerbaijan 5-0. Italy hammering Estonia 5-0, Israel comfortably beating Moldova 4-0. Czechia beating Montenegro, which I said could be a little bit of a banana skin. And look at the stats, you know, they were no pushover, 22 shots on goal, expected goals 1.23, 50% possession, and that second goal coming in the 96th minute. So, as I say, absolutely no pushover on Montenegro. Really, hats off to Czechia for managing that performance. This was a weird window for Sweden. A Swansea player, Vipotnik, scored late on. I really wonder how much did Alexander Isak's behaviour have anything to do with it, because obviously he didn't play, he's their best player, he should have been fit, he hasn't played any matches. So it says there he was benched. So late equaliser from Slovenia. That by itself isn't the end of the world, because Slovenia are decent, particularly at home, but their next result, Sweden, didn't help that result. You know, they could have done with a win there after what happened in the next match. Switzerland beating Kosovo 4-0, and Ukraine losing valiantly to France 2-0. Serbia beating Latvia 1-0. Portugal hammering Armenia 5-0 in Yerevan. England looking turgid, if I quote an article I read. I didn't watch the match. Against Andorra at Villa Park, 2-0 winners. Goals from own goal from Garcia and one from Declan Rice, who's improved his goal-scoring record in the last couple of months. And then a win, Sabitzer penalty for Austria to beat Cyprus. They were dominant, but Cyprus were not a pushover at all. 16 shots to Austria's 10 and 1.25 expected goals. In the end, this result wasn't bad. Another Swansea player scoring at the last moment in this one. 10-man Hungary drawing to Ireland in Dublin. A decent team, and you know, a loss at home in the opening match would have been curtains for Ireland, so they lived to breathe another day, but it didn't get any better, I'm afraid. We'll talk about that when we see it. Bosnia beating San Marino 6-0, they're looking really good. Georgia beating Bulgaria 3-0. Netherlands narrowly beating Lithuania. I do warn you about this Lithuanian team at home. Depay with 2 goals and Quinton Timber with the 3rd. So not an impressive window for the Netherlands after I bigged them up in the preview video. But you know, you don't need to beat everyone 5-0. You know, I remember a Spain team doing that before the World Cup in 1998, like destroyed everyone in their group 5-6-0, didn't make it out to the group stage. You need to win and not lose, and that's what the Netherlands have done, so fine. North Macedonia hammering Liechtenstein 5-0, and then Belgium destroying Kazakhstan 6-0. Northern Ireland hung on to half-time, but then in the second half, Amiri and Viets with 2 goals to brighten Germany's campaign. At one point they were drawing at home after that loss to Slovakia, so I think there were a couple of Germans who were panicking, but it's sort of looking a little bit rosier now. Not a bad window for Northern Ireland though. Slovakia staying top by narrowly beating Luxembourg 1-0 with a goal in the 90th minute from Rigo. Seems a bit unfortunate. Luxembourg's stats being much better, but that's because Slovakia are a counter-attacking team. So they are looking really good at the top of their window, top of their group, excuse me. Poland beating Finland 3-1, so I think Finland are more or less out of the group stage now. And this shocking result, I was going to pay to watch this, but I missed the first half an hour. Looked at the scoreline to see whether I should bother paying for it on Amazon Prime for like £3-4, and I was like, no, it's over already in 30 minutes. Pedri with 2, Merino with 3, and Ferran with 1, 6-0. Not in Istanbul. I think the Turkish national team would have been terrified to lose there. I think it was in Antalyaspor, no, Konya. So that I'm shocked I haven't heard that their manager has been sacked. I think heads will roll for that result. I think that the fans expected at least a draw, if not a win. Turkish fans, a lot of you are subscribers of mine, feel free to disagree with me in the comment section. I feel that, particularly with this team, with some of the players you've got, like Arda Güler, I think the expectations from the fans are really high, and when you get results like that, which even Wales would be devastated with that result, I think that there's a lot of backlash. I know they don't really like Montella, even though I think he's a very entertaining coach, but that is a damning result really when you think about, you know, Belgium beat Kazakhstan with this same scoreline. That's not the type of scoreline that you should be having at home either. Scotland, I watched the first half. It was a bit, in an empty stadium in Hungary, a bit of a tough watch, but glad to see Scotland got the 2-0 win in the end with goals from Adams and an own goal from Volkov. Again, don't need to win every match 5-0, just need the points. So good window for Scotland. Croatia surprisingly beating Montenegro 4-0. And Montenegro were never in it, so this Croatian team looking really good. Breaking Gibraltar and Hearts, Faroe Islands, beating them 1-0. I said they could get a result and they didn't. Very shocked with this one. I thought Greece were going to top the group. 3-0 win from Denmark. They will feel confident. Go for Højlund of all people. They will feel like they can qualify top of their group now. And then this crazy match, 5-4 between Israel and Italy, with a goal from Tonali on the 91st minute. Like, absolutely crazy. I haven't watched the match yet. I was trying to find a video of it. It's hard to these days. Just absolutely great. I can't wait to see it. I've heard some of the goals are very good as well. Moise Kean with 2 goals, Politano, Raspadori and Tonali. Own goals from Locatelli and Bastoni, and 2 goals for Perez. Yeah, just absolutely shocking. And another shocking result. Kosovo, very surprising, 10-man Kosovo, beating Sweden With all the talent that they've got, particularly up front with Gyökeres, Elanga, and obviously Isak on the bench. Yeah, absolutely shocking result for the Swedish national team. They'll be devastated. Switzerland brushing past Slovenia easily, so they are very much top of the group, 3-0. Oh dear. 2-1 winners, Armenia at home against Ireland. An article said that it was in the top 5 worst ever results for the Irish national team. Like I said earlier on, guys, we've been there. We did this at home. They beat us like 4-1 in Cardiff. They are a nightmare to play against. Just like I talked about Kazakhstan against Wales earlier on, they sit deep. They've got an incredibly pacey front line that counter-attack with very good shooting power. And yeah, the article tried to make out it was one of the worst results. I don't think Armenia are that bad anymore. I'm sorry. I don't agree. I think we need to expect more of these results. Armenia are not going to qualify, don't get me wrong, but I think that people need to realise that these teams that you used to beat 5-0 have just caught up, and you still might beat them 3-0, you might beat them 1-0, but every now and again, like Kazakhstan beat Denmark in the last qualifying campaign, Armenia have beaten Wales, Armenia drew with Germany, I think, like either the last qualifier round or the one before, maybe the last World Cup. So let's not like beat around the bush. These teams, Armenia, Macedonia, Bosnia, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, as we'll see in just a moment, they can compete, and on a good day they can get a result. So I don't think the Irish should be ashamed at all, but be absolutely devastated that 2 games in, I think they can't qualify. Yeah, absolutely. But don't say, oh, we should never be losing to Armenia. I think that's always a risk with these teams now. Not that that's comforting at all, and I'm gutted for the Irish lads. This is another example of it. Azerbaijan drawing with Ukraine. Ukraine in that tough group with Iceland and France. Were pretty decent against France, only lost 2-0. But that is a terrible result for them. But again, even at home, these sides, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, can pull off a result. Albania only narrowly beating Latvia 1-0 with a penalty. Bosnia narrowly losing out to Austria 2-1. Another goal from Sabica and one from Lima. Dzeko still scoring for Bosnia. Another example of it. Cyprus 2, Romania 2. So Romania basically have lost the plot. 2 goals from Dragush, but Lozo and Charalambous with the goals for Cyprus. Again, one of these small teams just getting results. France narrowly beating a very difficult to beat Iceland team. Wales know that. Mbappe penalty and Barcola. Now that's a very respectable result in Paris. Hungary then losing at home to Portugal 2-3. Another goal from Ronaldo, meaning he is now on par with this record. One more goal to go. Oh my word. 2 massive results here in terms of how many were scored, not in terms of their importance. Norway beat Moldova 11-1. Moldova aren't even that bad. They're nowhere near a San Marino or a Gibraltar or a Liechtenstein. So 11-1. So Haaland scored 5 goals and Askar scored 4. That's insane. I think Norway are going to qualify automatically for the World Cup, which is going to be exciting because we haven't seen them at a European Championship or a World Cup in some time. England hammering Serbia. I didn't watch the match, but I've read that it was a far better performance. In fact, so much so that some of the lesser picked players are now giving Tuchel a very big headache, and he's had to come out and, well, not had to, he's very outspoken anyway, which when he was appointed I said could get him into trouble. He's come out and said, look, if these guys are playing this well, I will drop a big name if they're underperforming. And the article had a picture of Bellingham hinting towards, I think, him. So Morgan Rogers, obviously playing that position, did excellently well. Rice had another good game. He's doing so well for the national team at the moment. Good to see James back in there. Madueke got a goal. Gay played well again. Livramento and Gordon. So quite a lot of Newcastle players in there actually. And the customary red card when the Serbs start losing and have a sulk, because that is absolutely bang on if you are a betting person. If Serbia are losing, put some money on them getting a red card. It happens literally every time. I expected more from Serbia. They were, for me, on par with Albania, probably a bit more. I've always hyped up this Serbian side because man for man, some of these players are absolutely excellent. You're trying to tell me that Vlahovic is a rubbish striker? Absolutely not. Yeah, these really should be doing a lot better. That's a shocking result for them, and that's the last one. So that's Europe's talk. That's Europe all done. Let's look at the last round. So these are the official qualifiers from South America. Congratulations to Argentina. Ecuador, notice where Brazil is not in the top two. Colombia, Uruguay, Brazil in 5th, joint with 6th place Paraguay, who come back to the World Cup after a couple of editions having missed them. I'm a bit older than some of the people that watch this channel, and for me Paraguay were always a mainstay in World Cups because they were in 98 and again I think in 2002, whereas they haven't qualified since then. So some of you have grown up not having seen them in a World Cup. So they're back. And I did warn people. I said Venezuela have never qualified. It's in their own hands. They lost both their matches. And I said Bolivia's last game, this is the Intercontinental playoff they've qualified for. Bolivia's last game was at home to Brazil. So away from home they lost 5-1. They only, in their entire qualifying campaign, have only got points at home because it is the highest capital in the world. The air is very thin. They can shoot from anywhere and the ball will fly in the back of the net because of the air condition. This is an actual thing, I'm not making it up. I don't have the vocabulary to deal with it, but apparently if you strike a ball at that distance, it's not like there's less gravity or anything, but there's less I don't know, air pressure or some nonsense, less oxygen in the air, and for some reason, whatever, you can shoot and it'll fly for miles. So their final game was at home to Brazil and they won it. Yes, that's right, they beat Carlo Ancelotti's Brazil 1-0 and qualified for the Intercontinental playoff because in the other match the neighbours had a 9-goal thriller. Colombia, 4 goals from Suarez and 1 from Mina. Is it Santi? No, not Santi Mina, what's his name? Doesn't matter, former Everton player. Colombia beat their neighbours. So yeah, Venezuela sadly are out. Good luck to them next time. We also say goodbye to Peru and Chile, who had terrible qualifying campaigns. Argentina lost to Ecuador. I'm saying that this Ecuador team are a tiny bit of a dark horse, and I'm thinking they might get to a quarter, maybe even a semi-final. You watch. Ecuador should not be taken lightly. They have an excellent team. If we look at some of their players, they've got an Argentinian manager. The goalkeepers, I think, maybe is a weak position, but then you've got, let's have a look, Estupiñán of Milan, Hincapié now of Arsenal, Pancho of Paris Saint-Germain, Arriaga of Barcelona. Not even Wales can say that they've got such players in such big clubs. Alex Franco of Atletico is very good. Preciado of Sparta Prague. Then we have Kendry Paez of Strasbourg, Moises Caicedo obviously of Chelsea. Then we've got up front then Valencia still going, Gonzalo Plata of Flamengo, John Yeboah of Venezia, Union Saint-Gilloise Champions League team, Kevin Rodriguez, and Angulo of Anderlecht. So yeah, they're all in pretty big teams in Europe. They've got a good, young, exciting squad, so keep an eye out for them. And now I've picked them up, they'll lose every match in the group stage and go out. Okay, so that's Europe and South America done. Let's look at North America, albeit without the three biggest teams because they've already qualified. Honduras and Bermuda are top of Group A. Top of Group B are Costa Rica as expected, and Trinidad and Tobago. And Group C is Curaçao with all those Dutch players, and Haiti. It's very difficult to say so far how things are going. But in round 1 and round 2, is that even the right table, you know? Second, I feel like it should be third round. Honduras, Bermuda. I don't think those are the right tables, because, the reason I say this, Haiti has drawn that one, Costa Rica have drawn that one. Yeah, it's not the right. Hang on. No, that's not what I want. Okay, let's have a look at the first two matches then. So, draw between Panama, Suriname, Salvador beating Guatemala away from Jamaica, beating Bermuda 4-0. Haiti, Honduras 0-0, Trinidad and Curaçao 0-0, Nicaragua, Costa Rica 1-1. Round 2, El Salvador lost to Suriname 2-1. Panama drawing with Guatemala 1-1. Panama one of the better teams in this, along with Costa Rica. Curaçao beating Bermuda 3-2. Jamaica beating Trinidad 2-0 to get 2 wins out of 2. Could we see Jamaica back at a World Cup? Only their first ever appearance in 1998. Costa Rica drawing with Haiti, so a bad start for Costa Rica, 2 draws. And Honduras beating neighbours Nicaragua 2-0. Just have to imagine the group stage at this point. And lastly, on to Africa. Oh no, that's Asia. Keep doing that because it's got an A. Okay, so we have a couple of teams that have qualified. Fixtures, there are 2 rounds left. And the tables are as follows. Egypt are top and can still be caught by Burkina Faso, but I don't see it happening. Sierra Leone can still qualify, but Guinea-Bissau technically also can qualify, but they need a miracle. Ethiopia, Djibouti are out. Senegal can still be caught. DR Congo also. Sudan is trying their best, but Togo 7 at 6-11, so no, they are out. South Africa with another good set of results, 17 points. They have almost definitely at least qualified for the intercontinental playoffs. Only lost 1 match. Benin can still be caught. Nigeria is the one chasing. Yikes. You don't want them chasing you. They had a decent window. Not the best though. So they're on 11 points. They can only get a maximum of 17. So South Africa have to lose their next 2 matches, one of which is against Zimbabwe at the bottom of the table, in order for Nigeria to qualify automatically. I don't see it happening. Cape Verde is top and only 1 point away from at least getting second place. Cameroon are chasing. It's a 4-point gap though, so Cameroon are unlikely to catch them. Libya still can catch them. Technically Angola can too, but it'll be tough. Morocco cannot be caught. They are 7 out of 7. They have qualified for the World Cup. Congratulations. Tanzania are looking good for second spot, but still can be caught by at least 2 teams in the group. Ivory Coast have definitely qualified for at least second place. Gabon is in that space at the moment. Gambia cannot catch either, so they've both at least qualified for the intercontinental playoff. Who will get top spot? Very interesting. Algeria haven't yet qualified because Mozambique and Uganda can both catch them, but Guinea cannot. They can, however, try and get second spot. So Algeria No, they haven't even qualified second. There's still... I mean, it's unlikely they're caught with 4 points different, but you never know. Tunisia have almost done it. They've definitely qualified for at least the Intercontinental because Liberia cannot catch them. And, in fact, Namibia can't either. So they have qualified already. Well done to them. Congrats. Ghana can almost celebrate 3 points, so there's 6 points to play for. And Comoros, therefore, can catch them because they could get 21 points. Mali cannot, though. Surprisingly, Mali are not able to do it, but they could get second spot. Very exciting. And I think the 4 teams go into the Intercontinental playoffs, so they are Gabon, Madagascar, DR Congo and Burkina Faso. And at the moment Cameroon wouldn't even make the playoffs, so they've got Cameroon and Nigeria not making a World Cup the year that Africa gets double the amount of spots is crazy. Let's just have a look at that Nigeria result then. Who did they draw against? South Africa. Well done, South Africa. That was a big result. It was a nervy match by the looks of it. Only 5 shots each, one on target, and that was the goal. So, yeah, they're nearly there. Cape Verde beating Cameroon 1-0. Livramento, not the one from the Newcastle. Rwanda winning again, this time against bottom of the table Zimbabwe. And who else got a really good result? Ghana beating Mali to put them out of it mostly. And Algeria drawing with Guinea. Morocco cementing their place with their 7th win against Zambia 2-0. And Tunisia doing the same with Equatorial Guinea, who I thought also would be more in a higher spot. 1-0, 94th minute winner, wow. Nigeria winning the first match of the round 1-0 against Rwanda. There we go then, that's all caught up. And we'll have another window next month in October and our last one in November. So very exciting matches, particularly in Europe, coming up. If you enjoyed the video, then click like, leave me a little comment, tell me if you're happy with this window, commiserate if you are Irish and or Romanian or German perhaps, and you're not happy with your window, Ukrainian, a couple of others, and yeah, Swedish. And let me know how you think your team did. I didn't mention the Canadian Wales match, but I actually went to the stadium and watched it. It was boring, and Canada were excellent counter-attacking and quite physical as well, which I wasn't expecting. They were quite physical in the tackle, and the ref was happy to let it go, although there were loads of yellow cards as well, so sometimes it boiled over. We put out our youngsters, and we were a bit rubbish and didn't really make anything. So yeah, it's a bit worrying because we don't have much strength in depth, but that's something a Welsh person could have told you to begin with. And we have a bit of a problem central midfield as well, particularly with Joe Allen retiring. We don't really have, not that he was good enough to play for us any longer, but we just don't have any natural players in that position when Ampadu's injured. Not enough, at least. So yeah, that's a little bit of a problem for us. And the other problem is, in the next window we're playing away at Wembley in a friendly against England, and like 3 days later we're playing Belgium, and we cannot risk our best players getting injured or tired playing a friendly, meaningless friendly against England, because the Belgium match is basically win or you're not finishing top. I think this is even a scenario where we win and we don't finish top, so we have to win against Belgium, which will be pretty difficult. I'd say not impossible, but near impossible, because we're playing a bit rubbish at the moment and they're playing brilliantly. And that means we're going to have to put the kids out against England, and I think they're going to hammer us like 4-5-0, which is going to be really damning for confidence ahead of the Belgium match. So that England match is looking really bad at the minute. I didn't like it when we booked it. We should have played someone to get some confidence up, but it's not gone that way. So I'm kind of dreading that match now, because it's only a friendly, so we can't risk anyone, but also we could get battered. Eek. Okay, anyway, subscribe, comment, like, join me on Patreon. See you soon. Bye 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 bye.